Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jack. This is my spot. What should we call them? Because they've been there a while. This is JTH Books, and I guess for the first time, I'm going to do the mid-year freakout tag. Although I don't like to say the word freak, but that's what it's called. From now on, we just called it the mid-year book tag, because I want to be nice. I don't like the word. I'm not going to say it again, or that'd be pointless. But before we start this, it is Pride Month, and I got sent a Pride box by Team BKMRK, so I thought I'd quickly show you. Isn't that so nice? There's a list here of queer bookshops, some snacks, some tea, a couple of books, Heartstopper cards. So thank you so much to Team BKMRK for these. So yeah, right. Now let's get on with the video. So the first question is, best book you've read this year? Now the best book I've read this year was actually the first book I've read this year. Right, you know. Right, so the first question is, what was the best book you've read this year? And the best book I've read this year was Here Again Now by Okuchiwu Nzalu. And it's the first book I read this year. As soon as I heard about this book, I knew it was going to be special. I loved the author's previous book, The Private Joys of Nina Malone. And, not to toot my own horn, but I was right. I just absolutely love this book. I think it's so beautiful. It touches on so much. It's so beautifully, angelically written. And I just loved it. It's the first book. Nothing's topped it yet. Nothing. Like, I'm thinking of my top 10 for the year, and I'm thinking, it might just be this. It might just be a picture of me holding this book up on my bookstagram. Because that's all I can really... No books sort of come close to this. So if you haven't read it yet, it's queer. It talks about masculinity. Talks about the relationships between fathers and sons. I can't recommend this enough. I think it's like the first book I spoke about on this channel as well. So just check it out. Trust me. Trust me. Let's build a friendship and trust me. Best sequel. Now, I'm not very good at reading sequels. I'm not really like a massive series reader. So I have gone for, and I imagine this is going to be in so many people's, but Heartstopper, Volume 4 specifically. I've gone for this because I think it's the best in the series for me. I read one a while ago, and then I thought, no, I don't think they're for me. And then the TV show's coming out, and I was like, oh, I've got to watch them now, haven't I? And I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved 2, and I loved 3, and I loved 4. I thought 4 was really deep and really... I sort of read it with tears in my eyes the whole way, really. I don't want to give too much away in case you haven't seen or read it or seen the show. Yeah, I think it's my favourite. It's sweet, but it goes a little deeper and looks at mental health and trigger warning for eating disorders. Yeah, it's just... I didn't think I was going to get the hype, but I got the hype, okay? They're special. New release that you haven't read yet, but want to. Emery Lee. That's the author. Cafe con Leche by Emery Lee. This is the last book I brought, and I don't know why, I just have such a good feeling about this book. I just feel like, as sweet as the baked goods and boba that fills up its pages, that's what I'm after. That's what I want. I just want something sweet, you know, YA, falling in love, and I think this is going to be it for me. I just think that's the most beautiful cover. I could have chosen that for the beautiful cover question, but I didn't. I chose it for this. If it pops up again, you know what's happened. But I just think, yeah, we'll check in at the end of the year and see if I was right about this. But I just have a feeling it's going to be sweet, and I just have something sweet right now. If I'd filmed this next week, it could have been a different book, but this is it right now. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have 2. And I don't have either of them because they're not out yet. One is Blade Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I'll put a picture up here. I loved the first one. I loved Realm Breaker. I've got like 3 editions of it. I absolutely loved it. It's not normally my type of thing, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the multiple POVs, and I loved the story, and I loved the type of fantasy it was, and I loved the big twist in it, and I loved that there was romance and queer characters, and I'm ready for the second one. I've got it pre-ordered, so I'm just ready. It needs to be good. And also another anticipated release is Lavender House by Elsie Rosen. Again, the picture's up there. I loved his second book, Camp. I loved it so much. And this is a bit different direction from it. It's not YA, but it doesn't matter. I am so unbelievably ready for it. Hopefully, I haven't pre-ordered this one because hopefully there will be a little trip happening and I will be able to buy it in person in a shop in a different country. That's what I'm going to say, because if it doesn't happen, it'll be a bit embarrassing for me, won't it? But yeah, I'm incredibly excited for those two. To be fair, Blade Breakers should be here soon. It releases in June, and I'm filming this in June, so that shouldn't be long. Oh, please, give it to me. Biggest disappointment. Dun 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 dun. Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. I'm sorry, don't come at me. Don't. So many people love this book. If you love this book, talk to them about it. I didn't like it. I think this cover is misleading. I think, even though it's beautiful, brilliant, I could have chosen this for a beautiful cover. But this doesn't represent what's inside the book. There's parts of it, a gripping portrait of addiction, courage and love. I didn't get it. I just didn't get that. It sort of looks at life in Scotland and things. Oh, I don't want to give too much away. I don't think the love story was developed enough. I think it had other better, if it had been sold differently. So maybe it's not the book's fault, but it is. No, I just didn't get it. I honestly spent my whole time reading the book like this. So that is my biggest disappointment. I had high hopes. Maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe that's it. But again, please, so many people love this. Please don't attack me. Biggest surprise of the year so far? That's a hard question because I didn't really know what to pick. But I've gone for The Dance Tree by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I think it's just a surprise because I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I thought it was really beautiful. I thought it was the story, like the true story about the women dancing, and how this, it was based on that, was really brilliant. And I didn't know anything about that. I didn't learn that in school or anything. So, and I've said before, there's little chapters in this where like Kieran gives little chapters about the women going to the dance, and that for me was what pushed this book over the edge. That I just really loved it. They just felt like magic to me, and yeah. So this is my biggest surprise. I was gripped. I was hooked. What more do you want? I didn't expect to enjoy it as much. I thought it was just gonna be a bit run of the mill, but it wasn't. Millwood. Yeah. So that is my biggest surprise of the year. Next question. Oh, favourite new author. I haven't got a book for that. Favourite new author. That's hard because I think it takes a few books to become a favourite new author, and I haven't read any books by the same author this year. Well, I guess we'll go with Okuchiro Nozalo. This book, we'll have to obviously wait to see what he does next, but this book I can't imagine him not becoming a favourite author. I've loved his first one, I loved his second one, and I like the rule of three, 3 books, you're in. So yeah, we go for this author because I think that's going to be it. Next up is Newest Fictional Crush. Now, I haven't read this book yet, but he was my crush in the first one, so it will probably go beyond crush in the second one. But it is Oliver from Husband Material. Like I said, I haven't read this yet, but I love him. I love him so much in the first one, Boyfriend Material. Absolutely love him. So I only know they're going to develop my feelings. He was actually my first book crush. I don't really get book crushes because I'm 30. But it's absolutely him. I would like to meet a man like Oliver. If you've read this and you're like Oliver, hit me up. Ugh, that was so weird. I can't believe I just said that. But it's too late now. It's out there. Yeah, so we're going to go for Oliver. Straight up, Oliver Blackwood. I love him. I love him. The next question is a book that made you happy this year. And I'm going to go for Flip the Script by Lila Lee. Highly anticipated release for me. And it didn't disappoint. What can make you happy about that? It's got a sapphic romance in. It's got K-dramas. It's got brilliant characters. It's got sweet romance. What more do you need? It just made me happy to read. I wanted to pick it up all the time. Every time I did, I loved it. It just makes me smile. I love seeing like the behind the scenes stuff of the Korean dramas and all the places they're going to in Korea that I'm desperate want to go to. So it has to be Flip the Script. It has to be. Also, Brian could have been a fictional crush too. I kind of regret my fictional crush answer, but oh well. The most beautiful book you've brought or received this year. This is a full-parter. I'm going for the manga I Hear the Sunspot. Look, they're just such beautiful covers. Especially this one. I absolutely love this one. I just think they are so stunning. They're going to have so many art. I haven't read them yet. I'm literally just being shallow and basing this. But I just think that even the spines, look at the spines. Let me hold on, I'll line them up for you. I love them. I love them. I love them. I think they're so beautiful. I'm so excited to read them. But I think there is still one more I need to get before I can read them. Maybe I should treat myself after this. No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. And the last question is question 13. Unlucky for some, but not unlucky for this book. What book do you need to read by the end of the year? I'm going to go for Darius the Great Deserves Better by Adib Khorram. I absolutely loved the first book, Darius the Great Is Not Okay. Loved it. It's become one of my favourites of all time. Black Flamingo, Camp, and Darius the Great Is Not Okay. The perfect trio of YA queer books in my eyes. And I had the sequel. I was ready to buy it. And ready to read it. And I just haven't. I've said to myself that I'm saving it for it's when I need it, for something special, a rainy day, whatever. But no, I just want to read it, and I need to. I need to see what happens. I need to be back with Darius. I need to be back in the beautiful writing. Because Eddie wrote Darius so brilliantly, because in the first one, you're a couple of pages in, you're like, oh yeah, I know who he is. I know him. I like him. He just felt so real. So this is what I need to read by the end of the year. And if I don't, you have permission to tell me off, friends. Okay? So that's it. That is the answer to my question. Yeah, I will tag the original creators down below if I can find them. And thank you so much for watching. If you loved any of these books, let me know. Or if you let me know any of your answers to these questions, I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, the clapping of the hands. I'm so sorry about it. It's because I get a bit nervous. But yeah, like, subscribe if you feel like it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all real soon.